Hey YouTube, how you guys doing? I have a very exciting topic to discuss today, and it's going to be on World of Warcraft player housing. This is a topic that I'm actually very passionate about or excited about, hopefully happening in the future. This is just some concept art that I found. Funny enough, I think it was on Wowhead too, but basically, I was scrolling through some WoW stuff because I was bored at my lunch break, and I came across a bunch of player housing stuff. And this post in specific is from the Reddit user Wow Housing Idea. And they, I don't know if it's a guy or girl, but basically they posted this really long, detailed Reddit post that kind of just explains their ideas for what player housing could be. And it's so in depth, and the artwork they made and the graphics they made to show their thoughts is incredible. I was blown away. I really just skimmed through it. I didn't like because I wanted to make a video on it. Um, and I did reach out to them. I did send a message to um, Wow Housing Idea and just like reached out saying, "Hey, is it okay if I kind of post a video?" Because this isn't my work. Um, and that's kind of my thought with everything. Whenever I post a YouTube video or any kind of video about Warcraft, Diablo, whatever it is, um, if it's going to be like I don't like a reaction or just like my thoughts on something, I do want to make sure it's okay if I post up their work and show their all this hard work that they created and just put my thoughts. Just it's fun to fantasize about what could happen in the future with player housing. I don't know. Funny enough, in my real world profession, I do architecture work, so that's why this stuff is so cool. If they ever funny enough, if they ever do player housing in World of Warcraft, that'll be like, besides I'm a big casual Warcraft player, so besides like collecting transmog, I'd be collecting player housing stuff, and probably posting videos about it because I kind of know a thing or two about buildings. I mean, of course, this is just a game, but um, anyways, that's enough of the intro. But yeah, so once again we're gonna look at WoW housing ideas, Reddit post, and we're just gonna dig into their post and their thoughts and my thoughts about their thoughts. Excuse me. All right, so I noticed there was a 2-minute little video here. I think it just kind of shows, and I guess before I even play it, let me full screen this here. There we go. As you can kind of see, um, it's a night elf house that actually puts a night elf. I think they used night elf for an example for this whole. Basically, this player housing is showing night elf. They just did a sample. It'd have other races in the future when they did player housing. Just saying, based off my last video, I'd want a Tauren totem TP hut thing would be cool. Lodge house, like the Native Americans, like a lodge house would be cool. Anyways, they use night elf, and you can kind of see with this player housing concept, they're basically using um, the barbershop, and also funny enough, now that Dragonflight just came out, kind of like dragon riding, the way they laid out the all the different customizations for your house, and that's what's kind of cool. Like it's wishful thinking, but in reality, they just did. So first, the original version of this was the barbershop, right? You can customize your person. They recently in Dragonflight made it so you can customize a mount. So you'd think the next logical step is customizing a player housing home, I don't know. But anyways, let's play it and kind of look at, it kind of just shows a bunch of different options. Very cool. Changes to the entryway. Oh, that has like a bump out to it. Oh, that changed the roof. Bunch of roof options. Oh, I guess I could see their pointer of what they're changing. That's, oops. Very cool. And I wonder if the person that made this, I'm guessing they just pulled this from assets that are in the game. I wonder if they made any of their own. I don't know. That'd be incredible. Or if these are all just assets from, updates to the Night Elf stuff that we had in BFA for the Dark Shore stuff. Maybe this is a lot of the new Dark Shore um, model pieces, for when they updated the Dark Shore area in 8.3. Anyways, they're updating Windows. Um, oh wow, you even get like a moon well. That's cool. Like that'd be like a specific thing. Runes planter. That's cool. You can get specific things based off. If you're a night elf, maybe there'd be totems out front if you're a Tauren. Skulls if you're an orc. Plants. Dang, so cool, man. Um, and I do like the idea that it's just like one house. It's not like this isn't garrisons where you're at like this big place, you have like a bank. It's literally just for you to store stuff, maybe you get a buff or something. Oh, a mailbox, that's cool. That makes sense. A Coltiran one, type Fae. Excuse me. Worgen, all that's cool. I think that's it, right? I'm just gonna flip back here a little bit. I'm not gonna go through every single thing, but you can kind of see, for example, for this night elf, when you customize the roof, that's awesome. The roof color, that makes sense. I don't even know what that is. Oh, that's so sad that I should know what that means. Actually, let's I don't need to look it up. Anyways, entrance grand, windows colors, foliage. That's kind of what we saw before. Foliage color. I'm guessing that's kind of like you can maybe change the grass or the kind of your landscape right around your building. Decoration, wall color, and then what was the second tab? Oh yeah, and so this is like the exterior. That makes sense. What was the Here we go. Oh, so the second tab was the interior, which makes sense. And right now they just had ceiling, walls, and floor. That makes sense. Very basic. And then others. And I see this was basically this is the housing customization. They basically have 4 sections. I'm just going to skim through this. I'm going to post a link to this Reddit post. One sec. I'm going to grab some water. I'm losing my voice here. But we are basically I'm going to go through all these sections and I'm going to post a link on the video I'm making for this. Please go look at this. It's so awesome, and maybe write a comment if you have an idea or something. But I hope this gets more recognition, or just people see this, because I hope the devs are like, wow, people really want player housing, because I do think a lot of the casual fan base really does want something like this. Anyways, so section 1, let's see here. And we're done to the game. Yep, casual horizontal content. Yep, that's exactly what we need. Yeah, I'm gonna skim through this stuff because I'm not gonna go through everything in depth. Really, I'm more looking at the graphics because that's kind of the fun part, right? But please go look at this stuff. Allow players to have somewhere to call their own. Another way to visualize their people have been years. Yep. Add to the social aspect of the game, putting RPG back into MMORPG. That makes sense. This is the big one. Reuse 18 years worth of assets. I know they work hard. Like I remember Borealis. Like you should check out Borealis. They put a lot of love into that city. With all the furniture, the buildings, the customizations. It's beautiful. And I'm pretty sure Zandawar too. But it's a damn shame that like people don't go there anymore. But think of all those art assets they could use for player housing. It's like such a shame, I do hope they can figure out a system to make player housing work, and I hope this seems like a great idea to it, right? Let's look at this graphic. Yeah, so they're basically saying it would be very similar to Transmog. Where, let's see here, can I zoom in a little bit? Oh, perfect. So this would be for furniture, right? And let's see here. It almost looks like this top tab is kind of showing how maybe it's the professions, right? Because you would integrate professions into player housing. Maybe like let's just use this one. This looks like this is herbalism, right? Because it's herbs, plants. So maybe herbalism is used for anything that's made of wood or flowers. A lot of maybe some night elf stuff. Some of these chairs. Whereas like leatherworking, right? I thought I saw leatherworking somewhere right here. Leatherwork would be for stuff that's made out of animals, like more torn stuff, maybe a fur chair or pelt or rug, you know. So you could definitely incorporate the professions into um, player housing. I think they should add a separate one too for the actual houses. So this would be like for furniture, but for the houses, maybe there's a um, lumbering or lumber work, whatever that's called, construction perfection. That'd be cool. And it looks like these extra tabs are maybe from like, so these are maybe professions. I'm just guessing here. I don't know. And then these are maybe there's certain achievements like raids, dungeons. Very cool though. Let's go back. The obviously comparisons to the War to Draenor, we talked about that. Housing would be closer to the Pandaren farm. You know, I don't really know the Pandaren farm, but scaled back, smaller in size. Yeah, I don't think it should be Warlord to Draenor garrisons, right? Funny enough, I didn't really play much of World of Draenor, but I know the garrisons. You know what's funny? As a person that likes to customize and stuff, I went back and customized my garrisons and like played thematic music. For example, my Tauren plays the Thunderbluff music and everything. Um, but I don't think that they should be that scale, right? Like no mission table, no no bank, no guild bank, no auction house, because that's what caused people to just stay in their garrisons all of Draenor, where I still think the main city hub should have everyone in it. This is just like your maybe it gives you a buff, or it's literally just a cosmetic. Like your transmog does nothing to you. It's literally just for collectors and people that like that stuff, the RP stuff. Um, let's see here. The scope of the project would be similar to battle pets. That makes sense. Where they let's see. Excuse me. Mostly focus on cosmetics. That makes sense because like Mist of Pandaria or Battle Pets, you kind of retroactively put them in, right? Like there's now battle packs for Outland, Wrath of the Witch King, stuff like that, where you know it came out of Mist of Pandaria, so they actually backtracked. And I hope with player housing they do that too, but they add it gives people reasons to do old raids to collect furniture or stuff or house components, roofing colors, you know, whatever it is. But that'd be a great way to go back and do because I would love to go back and do some old raids for fun, just to be nostalgic. Like I don't know the last time I've done a classic raid, and that'd be fun to do to get like Ragnaros's fire chair of power. You know, I don't know. Uh, archaeology. So this is where they kind of compare the differences. Like, yeah, we wouldn't. They're just saying when they're saying, kind of agreeing, right? They don't. Um, oh gosh, my brain. The WoW housing idea. You know, the person that posted is also agrees that it really shouldn't be Draenor level. Okay, section 1. So that's section 0. We got through that. Section 1. Where is it located? Claim your house in the world. These buildings would reflect the zone at which they're in. That makes sense. Much like a tier set represents the raid it's from. That makes a lot of sense. To start with, I would say the house is based on the core races. I mean, yeah, that's fine. I guess the core races are like a Kultiran and a human are, you know, both humans, right? Then nudist zones. Okay. Over time in future patches, expansions, and more housing would be added. This would be a great way to get players back into the old world. Yep, that's kind of what we said. Faction specific, that makes sense. And then they have this little graphic. I hope there'd be more than one player. I guess, no, this makes sense. Maybe it's just like phased, right? So multiple, like each zone Think about it. If every zone had one player housing location, that's still 100 locations for a player house. That's pretty good. Um, I'm fine with that. If like just one area in each zone was made for player housing, and next to a city, that makes sense. Possible to visit others in other zones. The house would phase to other players. That way, the world is not full of empty houses. Yeah, use the phasing technology so that there's never an empty house. Someone's, so if you're at a smaller server, let's say, you're still going to see a house there. Invite players to your house. People can check out your house. That makes sense. Auction house system. Um, that's interesting. The auction house will allow players to bid or make their house the public house for a week. Oh, this means the otherwise empty houses in the other zones will be filled with the winners of these bids. Maybe I'm just reading that too quickly. So you're bidding for your house to be put on display. And open it to visitors. Wait, what am I getting? Wait. Huh, so you're bidding about who... I don't know if I'd ever do that. I mean, just specifically me. Like, I wouldn't want to spend money just for it to be shown to the public. I mean, I'll show my friends my place, but, like, I don't know if I need it. I mean, it'd be really cool if it's always shown to the public, but that's an interesting concept. Let's see. If there's a house and you own it, it's instance for you, but a house in Ashenvale wouldn't be empty. This would have restrictions. If made public, your property is locked and unedible during that week. Okay, that's cool. Little graphic showing like if you want your place to be private or public. Thus changing the property for personal public. Only show one property per week. So they're kind of saying you can have more. I think you should have more than one player housing. That'd be kind of cool. That'd be a lot though. I have a lot of vaults. That would add up. Okay, so that's kind of the gist of the first section, the location. Now the house. Section 2. These buildings would be uniquely made, drawing inspiration from other building architecture in the zone. That makes sense. I think you should do that. It would be kind of weird, right? If like you had I mean, it would be kind of funny, but like think about if you had a dwarf, cave-like home in a night elf location, like in a location like this, right? That'd be a little funny looking, kind of get you out of the immersion of the zone or that world, right? We kind of talked about this barbershop UI. We went through this stuff actually, so they're just re-showing it here. We kind of discussed this stuff in the video. There'd also be an other post box. That makes sense. I mean, in music, I do like the music idea. I loved the music in the garrisons. So funny enough, sometimes I'll just go to my garrison. Like I'll do stuff in my garrison, but I go there just to listen to some of the older school music that I put on my characters. So I like the music thing. That's just a given. Like they already have it set up. What you choose your music for your house. Include an outdoor area so that you can decorate the gardens too. Not upgradable in size like the garrison you pick. Yeah, I don't think these should be massive, right? These aren't garrisons. This is like just a little house. Change the vines, Night Elf architecture. I love Night Elf architecture. It's based off, Eastern Japanese, the bowed roof, or the bowed beam for the roof. This is definitely like Night Elf. It's weird. They were all kind of a lot of the architecture in Warcraft is kind of mixed on a lot of stuff. Maybe that'll be another video series I do of like just walking around Warcraft looking at the architecture of the buildings would be really cool. But yeah, they're kind of, it's really based off older Eastern Japanese architecture. At least the Night Elves. Customization would include color changes, right? Variety of names. Yeah, I do think that would be cool. Like they're just showing one sample. Like this is just the basic house. But I think it would be cool if, for example, like the tree house, like, way back in Darnassus, you would have all those little houses wrapped around trees. Or the Barrow Den, where one's actually literally under, like a lot of the Druid ones, or those like dens underground. That'd be cool too. Different version, different. I mean, that'd be a lot, but let's say like 3 types of houses for each race. So 3 times 8, 24 houses to start with. Um, but yeah, you can unlock them. Even like, I mean, another thing is kind of like with the glyph system, right? You could literally just make these glyphs, kind of like the dragon riding or dragon flight. You get a glyph, you click on it, it unlocks, and then when you go to your barber shop, it says, "Hey, you got a new unlock." Literally the same thing that they could do here. Right, like run a raid, you get the red colored scheme for the windows. That makes sense. Um, let's see here. Incentivize to run old world stuff. Yeah, that makes sense. Look at this. Collection tab for player housing. So this is the one they were showing as the Ashenvale house and all the customizations here. But look at, they got a Dressfar one, Swamp of Sorrow, Storheim, Zangermarsh. That's cool. Zangermarsh. Like a house on a mushroom or something. That'd be cool. That's so sweet. Oh god, please make player housing happen, Blizzard. Come on. Very cool. Let's see here. Properties consider a sanctuary. Yeah, this is like the technical stuff, right? Like, so you can't PvP in your house. It's a resting area. I think a Hearthstone makes sense. Forces you into the city, right? We talked about that. The actual buildings focus on quantity over quality, or quality over quantity. The other way around. That makes sense too. Section 3. The core concept of housing would be to collect furniture. That makes sense. That's kind of what we talked about. And we also talked about this, like I think the houses would kind of have to be new. Maybe they can pull some old houses, but those would kind of have to be new. But they can take furniture from, the 18 years of Warcraft that we have. So at least on the art side, I hope it wouldn't be that hard to use a lot of the art they already have. Because I know the art is is the most time consuming part, or one of the more time consuming aspects of creating like a new expansion in Warcraft or whatever. Reuse, 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 right? Unlike battle pets, furniture will be added somewhat passively. Yeah, less pressure on the art team, that makes sense. I think we looked at this, right? They just have a bunch of categories: lights, trophies, housing structure pieces. We kind of looked at something like this. It's just a different pictures. So these are a bunch of versions of bookshelves. Very cool. Like, look at this. I think that's Pandaren, right? Let's see if I can get the races here. This is fun. That looks like Maldraxxus, right? The bones. I think that's Maldraxxus. I think this is just classic WoW. That's like definitely older. I think this is isn't this Revendreth? I think that's Revendreth bookshelf. Is this like a Titany? This looks like Titan bookshelf. This looks like a Dwarf bookshelf. Not sure. Pandaren. Blood Elf. Voltirian? I'm not sure on this one. Oh, that was fun. But so different races, different bookshelves, right? Or you can mix and match, of course, but that's just what I'm getting. Let's see here. And then now and this is just the same thing, but this is an example of chairs or benches. I'm not going to do the same thing here, but very cool. Collecting would follow the footsteps of other collecting things, right? Different things. You can, basically anything that you could do to get a title, any other cosmetic. So, right, achievements can give you some housing stuff, quests, raids, drops from rares, crafting, PvP. Yeah, like everything. It's just, this can be, the cool thing about player housing is it can be incorporated to literally everything else we do. Us from raids can drop items relating to that raid. Yeah, that makes sense. So an Oldor boss will drop something from the Oldor raid. So it's like, it's it's killing two birds with one stone. You're designing your raid. You create this little art asset for the raid. It goes into the player housing for that patch. I mean, I know there's more to it than that, but you know what I mean. Professions can create items. We talked about that. Yeah, like what the. So we have a lot of the similar ideas. I mean, I'm reading off their thing, but you kind of have all this stuff in your head, right? And I know we're just doing the fun fantasy of like, oh, this would be so creative and fun. I know there's a whole coding technical side that we don't know about that I hope they could do everything that we're talking about here, but you know, who knows with the WoW engine being as old as it is. Anyone can use the model. No NPCs, right? I'm just kind of skimming through this stuff. Please do go through this and check it out. Use the transmog wardrobe template. We looked at that. Works like a toy box. You can hang stuff off ceilings, wall decorations, floor decorations, right? Lights. Getting like statues for defeating bosses. Like gold is mythic, silver. Oh, that's a cool idea. Normal is stone. Raid Finder is a wood statue. Hey, I'll take a wood statue. I actually prefer. I think wood statues can be cool. That's a cool idea. Like, so you can give proof that you've done the mythic recent boss. For example, maybe the statue that you get for defeating Razagath in Dragonflight. The latest is literally just her model and like a pose. You get a gold one if you defeat her on Mythic, Silver, etc. That's cool. That's a cool, fun idea. In addition to furniture, here's a list of some other things that can be added. Boys will be allowed. Transmog appearances. Weapons can be mounted on a wall. That's cool. Like, yeah, even like you can even just use your own weapons as furniture pieces, right? That you hang up on your wall. That'd be a cool idea too. That's a good one. Allow photos taken with selfie camera to be displayable. That's a cool idea too. Hearthstone art, that's fine. That would be cool too. Daily event. Where a new zone is, if you visit the house in a particular zone, you're rewarded with a currency which can then be spent on unique furniture. Oh, that's a fun idea. Giving like dailies to go check out other people's homes. I like that a lot. That's a great idea. Yeah, definitely get people incentivized to just have fun and hang out and check other people's homes. I like that. It's a good idea. Item limit. Resource space. Yeah, that makes sense. You can't just fill your place to the brim or have stuff like. Funny enough, I don't know if any of you guys played New World. I played it for a little bit. It was pretty fun. But New World player housing, I saw people like building. They would literally like stack 100 chairs sticking out of their building to like build a bridge or like this long tower of like literally just stacking chairs sticking out of their house. It's a little wonky. Um, excuse me. But you know, there should be, I think, an item limit. Restrictions are only usable outdoor stuff inside. I guess that makes sense. I guess you definitely don't want stuff like going crazy on the outside of your building. Look at that, unfurnished, furnished, and then furnished. Look at that, very cool. Mix and match of a bunch of stuff. Um, list of items used. Oh, hold on, let's see here. Oh wow, they actually like labeled everything. Cataclysm, Piston Pandarian bed. You know, it's funny when you look at this zoomed out, it's really hard. I mean, you can tell, but not because of Warcraft's or WoW's art style. It's actually kind of hard to tell. I guess you can kind of tell with the line that that's kind of a little outdated. But a lot of the art, because of the way Warcraft does their art, it is when you put it all together, it is a little bit harder to tell like what is the really outdated stuff and what stuff is from newer expansions. Like this all looks fine to me, but like when you compare, that lion statue was made in, when did Cataclysm come out? 2010, right? 2010, 11. Whereas, oops. Whereas Where's that chair? So Cataclysm, Dragonflight. You can kind of tell. I mean, this is definitely smoother, but it's really not that bad of a difference between literally like 10 years of, graphic updates or just, graphical fidelity with with their engine. They've, done better stuff. So yeah, I mean, it's really not that hard. I think you can still mix and match and it would look fine. Um, Placing furniture. This is where it gets technical, and I'm not sure how this part works. Um, let's see. Following whilst design philosophy can't place a table on a ceiling. Yeah, you don't want to have stupid stuff, right? Like anything that's supposed to be on the floor would be on the floor. Stuff that's supposed to be on the wall, like a picture, would be on the wall. And stuff that's supposed to be on the ceiling will be on the ceiling, like a chandelier light. You don't want some crazy stuff. Snap items to a grid. Won't be able to resize objects. That's fine. I don't think they need to. Just make them all generic. That'd be too much work, probably. At least with WoW's engine, it might be a lot of work. Oh, resizable statues. Well, let's see here. What's this say? Oh, I see. So they would pre-make different sizes. So we wouldn't have a slider because I don't think WoW's engine's made to have sliders. Like for example, even our characters, we can't like slide our characters to make them thinner, bigger. It's just they've made preset models where I think that makes sense. Like they can have just a preset of they can make a small one, a medium, and one, and a big one. That's a big one. Damn, that's the scale. Original size of the house. One for housing decoration, one for that fits on top of your. That's cool. Yeah, so 3 different. I think that's a good idea. I like that idea a lot. But yeah, I know slider's kind of hard with at least WoW's engine now, from what I understand. Um, UI graphics showing items you have placed so you can keep track of the models. This is a little rudimentary, but I like it. Yeah, it just kind of basically shows a list of the things you've put on your building. You can keep track. Yeah, because let's see, what is this? 4 times 3, so 12. So let's just say, yeah, you can only have 12 things in your house. I hope it's more than 12, but this is just an example, right? They're showing. Oh wait, no space. Oh, I see. There's a scroll. Oops. So it's more than 12. I guess yeah, you have 300 items total. Each one is considered. Well, wait. I guess depending on the size of the object, for example, this box is considered 2 instead of 1. So the bigger it is, the more points it is. That's a cool system. So it's like a point system. Bigger stuff is maybe 10 points. A small thing is 1 point, and so on and so forth. Yeah, 2 space. I like that idea. Wow, they really thought of everything in this post. Well, but yeah, at least a lot of the things. Man, so cool. This should be a thing. This is amazing. Yeah, shout out one more time to just gonna do one thing here. I don't want this video to go on too long. And I'll definitely do more player housing, and maybe I'll do an architecture WoW video or something. But this is incredible. Shout out once again to WoW housing idea. And funny enough, I think they made another blog post about like um, Warcraft or character spell customization. So like having kind of like the glyph system in WoW, but more advanced. Maybe one day I'll do another video. Maybe I'll reach out again and say, hey, can I do a video on that? But anyways, this is amazing. This is just one person's idea. I know there's been a bunch of ideas about player housing going back all the way to like 15, 20 years ago. This is definitely the most in-depth one I've seen. And it just was fun and it just gets me all excited to talk about it and just look at it. And I do swear, if they ever do player housing one day, it'll probably be basically the main thing I do that expansion. And if it ever does become a thing, I'll definitely like post videos about like my place and showing it off. And maybe because of my work, I'll be a little more creative on how to design them. But anyways, this was just me. This was a fun talking video about player housing. Um, what are your guys' thoughts on this idea? And definitely go read it. I kind of just skimmed through it because this video would have been an hour long if I went through the entire process of every single bullet and point here. But this is really cool. This was fun. Oh, it's neat that they showed the night elf. So let me I'll do this like as the as the um, ending of my video. But yeah, this was awesome. Um, I really hope we get something like this in the future. Fingers crossed. I don't know where they go from after this expansion because we've kind of gone through every single zone. Or Dragon or the Dragon House is kind of the last zone from the original creators. So I really hope we go back to older zones where maybe player housing can be a thing, like Mortaron or something. Um, yeah, let me know your thoughts. This was really fun to look at and talk about. And I know more people have ideas, and I'll look at those and be super hyped for something that probably will maybe happen in the next 5 years. Fingers crossed. Um, I would love to see an example of this with like I think my two favorite architectural styles in Warcraft are Torn and Draenei. Um, I just love their architecture for those two races. So yeah, let me know your thoughts. This was pretty fun for me. Um, yeah, and also thanks again for everyone that liked my last video. Um, I'm dragging this on, but it was cool to see everyone be excited for my Earl Bowen post. Kind of an homage or a tribute to him. And it got me thinking maybe I'll do that for other people that impacted Warcraft or other like maybe Diablo that have unfortunately passed. Um, maybe doing a tribute to a few other people that have helped create World of Warcraft or something. But anyways, that's the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.